大家好。好熱血啊！我哋啱啱同埋好歡迎大家嚟睇《看我今天怎麼說》，同埋一定都要講聲對唔住，要大家久等。因為咧首先我哋熱烈歡迎咗我哋一齊同我哋跑過嚟嘅黃修平導演。
Hello， 大家好，所有英國嘅朋友，你哋好，好高興喺度見到大家。
So welcome everyone to be here. I'm sorry we are a little bit late. We're just literally jumping from another city. We just come from London. So it is a little bit delayed, but we're now all here. And so first we welcome Director Adam Wong here to be with us today.
係啦，頭先導演咧同我哋經歷咗一次咧，即係喺英國咧呢個跑場啊，但我哋跑嘅咧唔係由旺角跑去銅鑼灣咁簡單，我哋係跑去即係2個鐘頭之後嘅一個城市，咁所以好感激大家留步啦，亦都好想特別咧鳴謝頭先黃導演嘅一個老同學。幫大家都留低嘅，多謝你，所以出外真係靠朋友啊！
So thank you very much everyone staying, and we want a special thanks to an old schoolmate from Director Adam, and thank you very much for holding the scene for us and make sure no one is running out from this cinema.
好，咁最後我介紹我自己啦，我係阿毛，係今日同大家一齊同黃導演一齊傾偈嘅主持啦。咁我而家咧馬上就會知道，其實我哋最後會有幾多時間咧可以同大家分享嘅。咁但係咧無論如何咧，我哋今日嘅時間咧即係原本原定係30分鐘嘅。咁我哋遲咗啦，咁但係咧我哋亦都會有翻譯啦。好多謝 Esther 會同我哋咧即時做呢個英語嘅傳譯嘅。咁所以咧我呢個香港人就同大家計個數㗎啦，咁計埋咧得翻15分鐘嘅啫，可能係啦。咁所以咧，我就會決定將呢一個發問同埋發言權咧，馬上即刻交俾你哋。我諗大家都久等 warm up 咗㗎啦。咁所以咧，你有啲咩嘅想問問題啦，或者分享啦，馬上舉手，即刻可以喺我哋有第一位啦。
邊翻譯就邊 pass 個咪俾後邊，有冇咪啊？俾後邊。
Just a bit notes about today. Sorry, excuse me. Let me finish first. I'm the English interpreters today. My name is Hester, and so we have around 30 minutes. I know we're a little bit late, but I think we still have roughly around 30 minutes here today. But because of the interpretation and translation, so we probably will only have 15 minutes left. So we're going to pass on the questions to the floors to the audience, and that is the first one over there already. But I think we're looking for a mic for you.
But maybe
可以啊。
近一年咧就睇過啲香港電影咧，包括破地獄啦、爸爸啦、贖夢啦，同埋呢一套。我覺得嗰個取材咧都有啲近似類型。咁我想聽聽導演你對呢個現象有咩睇法？
So the first question. So there's quite a few Hong Kong movies coming over in the recent years. We just they all have similar topics, similar focus, and we just want to we would like to ask Adam, what is your feel in terms of the topics for the movie?
其實我又唔覺，我覺得如果講真係類型咧，其實係我覺得而家係比從前多咗嘅，但係可能我哋從前啦。 睇戲嘅習慣咧，尤其是睇港產片嘅習慣咧，都覺得港產片會係墮入某幾種類型，可能係笑片，或者就係黑幫片，或者係動作片。咁而呢啲我哋從前慣常睇嘅港產片嘅類型，都似乎新嘅導演可能都唔係咁中意拍啦，因為種種嘅原因嚇，社會原因、市場嘅原因，新一輩出嚟嘅導演佢哋。 受嘅教育，佢哋嘅心態嘅原因嚇，咁我唔知道會唔會係因為佢同咗以前唔同嚇，呢種唔同嘅性質，就可能呢位觀眾咧，可能唔知會就歸類咗，譬如有一啲社會議題啊嚇，就變咗係同一類嘅片，但係其實如果你真係細心睇咧，我覺得近呢10年嘅港產片其實多咗好多唔同嘅類型， 至少佢哋嘅題材嚇，淨係講題材啦嚇。有啲從前嘅電影，即係從前嘅港產片唔會有嘅題材，其實而家我哋都會喺即係港產片嗰度見到。咁但我覺得我哋需要做得更加好嚇，我哋做得未夠好嘅嚇。但我認為即係有唔同嘅題材呢件事係值得我個人係會好擁抱呢一個咁樣嘅趨勢，係啦，即係譬如好簡單，好多人都覺得喂你拍一個聾人嘅題材，即係咁冷門，咁但係我就從未驚過我覺得呢個題材，我認為有價值喺呢個時代喺今時今日去拍，我就覺得會去做。而當然我亦都比較信我自己嘅能力，唔會拍到佢太過偏門咁樣樣嚇。我覺得我拍好佢應該可以係一個可能喺題材上佢未必係咁大眾，但我覺得我有咁嘅能力將佢某程度上係可以吸引地呈現俾更多嘅觀眾睇嚇。咁我覺得呢個方向係我認為即係值得鼓勵，同埋係冇得唔鼓勵，因為我哋香港嘅導演而家要拍啲咩題材係好唔係偶然嘅嚇。如果譬如話拍一啲社會議題係一種可能而家有一啲咁嘅傾向，唔會係我同阿林森同阿卓亦謙，我哋冇夾埋一齊我哋都拍社會議題，唔係嘅嚇，一定係社會上邊嘅一啲原因令到我哋要咁走嚇。咁所以我覺得我哋要拍得更好嚇。
So I still think the genre is quite diverse. So I think you might get used to what the Hong Kong movie used to be like. It's about action movie, it's about comedies, and now we're kind of more like on the topics of reflecting the social situation, and that's also reflecting what is the commercial market there as well. And I think that is still quite different in between all this movie. And it's actually showing that we're focusing on different social issues here at the moment. And I feel like we should embrace the diversity at the moment in the Hong Kong movie. And I don't feel like this is a particularly topic that is no one is going to be interested about. It might be hard to make it into a movie, but I do have confidence in myself to sell the values and make it to be an attractive movie for other people to understand, especially like this movie about the deafness community. And I think this should be encouraged, and because sometimes it's not like we all do it together or we haven't sit down together and talk about what movie we're going to do next. It's about how actually we chose certain topic to reflect what has been happening in the society.
Thank you。
頭先有位
係小朋友，
小朋友觀眾，我哋
見到你舉手，見到你。
你可唔可以大？如果你唔怕醜，你可以請你出嚟對俾個咪嚟講都得，俾啲掌聲。
Let's give applause to this lovely
你會唔會係
child with this question？
我嘅電影入邊，即係借票或者答問大會嘅環節入邊最年紀最細嘅一個發言人咧，亦有可能係。
Will you be the youngest person ever in all this movie panel discussion? Yeah? How are you? 幾多歲？8歲，80. All right, I give you the mic.
點解想問嘅 movie 入邊嗰啲人，佢哋點樣學呢啲手語㗎
？Very good question。
好，我哋呢個好得意嘅妹妹。Thank you very much. So she was asking how people in this movie learn how to do sign language.
OK，其實呢套戲係講聾人嘅文化啦。咁我係好重視 deaf participation 聾人嘅參與。你喺呢套戲入邊見到所有聾人嘅角色咧，除咗有3位係由健聽人去演聾人之外咧，其餘所有嘅聾人嘅角色咧，都係由聾人自己演翻嘅。
咁所以呢啲大部分嘅聾人咧都係自己本身係識手語，甚至乎以手語作為母語嘅。譬如係你見到嘅好多嘅即係小朋友嘅學生啦，子信嘅 family 啦，潛水嘅嗰班朋友啦，遊船河嘅嗰班朋友啦，洗車嘅隊啦嚇，佢哋咧呢啲演員咧全部都係真正嘅聾人，平時生活都係用手語嘅嚇。咁有呢套戲入邊有三個角色咧係由聾人唔係由健聽人去演聾人嘅。第一個就係游學修演嘅子信啦，第二個咧就係鐘雪瑩。不過鐘雪瑩個 case 咧有少少即係可以 arguable， 因為Sophie 呢個角色係由不承認自己係聾人變成承認自己係聾人嘅，咁我都當係一個聾人嘅角色啦。咁啊，鐘雪瑩自己係一個健聽人去演聾人啦。第三個咧，大家可能唔知估唔估到，就係 Alan 嘅童年。Alan 嘅童年嗰位小朋友咧，佢係一個 coda 嚟嘅，即係 meaning deaf child of deaf adult。咁佢係一個健聽嘅小朋友，但係佢嘅父母都係聾嘅。咁佢由2歲開始咧就已經係識打手語，就同佢父母嘅 community 去溝通，係啦。咁所以大部分嘅聾人咧喺套戲入邊咧，聾嘅角色咧都係自己本身識手語。當然，就算佢識手語都好啦，其實我哋都有聾人嘅手語指導，會提供好多嘅修正啊、調教啊，去統一一個手語嘅指導嘅，俾佢哋嘅。成套戲入邊最需要學手語咧，就係成套戲嘅主角就係阿 Wolf， 即係子信呢個角色。游學修係健聽嘅，咁佢係花咗1年嘅時間咧，去由零開始去學手語嚇。我記得我確定咗游學修去做呢個角色嘅時候咧，我同佢講：你係一個健聽嘅人，你去演一個聾人嘅角色咧，係你必須要花雙倍努力去學習手語，同埋一定要跟聾人去學手語，同埋你必須要即係要一個非常之尊重聾人社群嘅心態咧，嚟到去了解你呢個角色，就唔能夠有一種好 exotic 嘅眼光去睇聾呢件事情。咁我覺得佢完全收到，同埋佢真係好下苦功嚇。嗱，頭嗰半年咧都係 warm up 嘅啫，咁真係最後嗰半年開戲之前嗰半年咧，游學修嗰個即係練手語嘅程度係地獄級數嘅嚇。係呢個係真嘅，因為我好多時佢練手語嘅時候上手語堂，我係會親自去觀察嚇，亦都去即係從中亦都可能係調教同手語老師同佢之間調教一啲手語嘅用法啊等等啦嚇。咁另外咧，阿鐘雪瑩咧，其實佢本身係識手語嘅。咁但係佢要演嘅角色咧，其實因為 Sophie 咧就係一個由完全唔識手語到慢慢學手語嗰個人，所以其實佢係要演翻咧冇咁識手語嚇，咁樣係啦。咁阿 Marco 本身咧係由2歲開始咧，因為基因突變咧，佢係即係聾咗啦嚇，咁而佢由2歲開始就開始學習手語嘅，咁佢所以本身佢係一個既用手語，亦都有一定嘅口語能力嘅人，係啦。咁但係佢嘅手語本身唔算係好流利嚇，但係佢同聾人係朋友係溝通得到。咁佢飾演呢個角色嘅時候，Alan 呢個角色需要嘅手語嘅程度係比佢本人係高一啲嘅，因為 Alan 係跟手語大師子信學手語㗎嘛嚇，咁所以咧我哋都有提供 extra 嘅即係手語嘅訓練同埋即係排戲啊咁樣俾Marco 咯。
So regarding the question, I really valued the participation of the deaf community in this movie, and therefore I try to cast all the characters that are deaf in this movie from the deaf community, except for 3 persons. So the first is Ruth, which is portrayed by Neil Yao. Second is Zhongshu, but then this is an arguable case because in the movie, Zhongshu was starting from not knowing how to do sign language and kind of denying her own identity from the deafness community to finally accept that she's part of the community and learning the sign language. And the last one, I'm not sure if anyone kind of can guess it, is actually the child who portrayed the young Alan. His name is Silmon, and so he is a child of that deaf adult, which we call them coder. So he learned sign language since 2-year-old, so he can communicate with his parents. So from that perspective, so for Neil, actually, he has learned how to do sign language for a year before we start filming the movie. And he learned that from our coach and consultants for the movie, which is Kim and Seberg. In between the process, we do minor amendment as well. So the first 6 months, I would say, is probably more like a honeymoon period where like that's just casual classes and stuff, where the last 6 months is very intense. And also because I will keep an eye on him as well, so I can do a bit minor amendment in terms of the screenplay or like discussion with the coaches. Is there any kind of more improvement? For Zhongshu, the case is very interesting because she actually knows sign language before the movie started. But because Sophie is a character that is from not knowing any sign language to knowing it very well. So for her, it's actually the other way around. So she kind of needs to learn how not to do sign language first. And lastly is for Marco. So Marco actually is diagnosed with deafness since 2-year-old due to a genetic mutation. And so sign language is kind of his native, apart from oral speaking skills. But his sign language might not be as fluent, although he do like use that regularly and communicate with his friends in the deafness community. So we actually have extra section for Marco as well to support his sign language skill for this movie because actually Alan, the character that he portrays, has a slightly higher sign language skills than his person. In reality.
多謝呢位8歲嘅小朋友，令到我哋知道咁多好重要嘅資訊啦！多謝你
Thank you, this lovely 8-year-old girl that letting us know a lot of information about what's happening on at the back of the movie.
好，繼續係。
首先好多謝啦，俾咗套好嘅電影。咁我首先好多謝我哋睇一套好嘅電影啦。我聽過一句説話講過咧，就係我哋如實咁樣去報導翻一個現實咧，都已經係一種社會嘅關顧。咁所以我覺得呢套電影咧，點解你會揀除咗聾人詞，即係點解你會有好多種唔同嘅一啲叫做小眾或者弱眾啦？咁點解你會揀聾人啦？同埋除咗你係想帶出一種尊重或者係關顧翻個社會一啲問題，其實背後有一個好想表達或者俾其他人領略到嘅一個中心思想咧。
好。
So thank you very much for bringing this great movie to here. So there's a saying says like there's a lot of things happening like movie and stuff is reporting the real situation of what's been happening in the society. And so I would like to ask, is there any specific reason why you choose deaf community as the main theme of your movie? Like it's kind of like a minority community, and like why did you decide to do so?
係，其實我並不有一個好強嘅意識，我要拍一啲關於minority 嘅諗法嘅。我覺得我關注嘅係人點樣去揾到真正嘅自己，同埋做到真正嘅自己，即係一個探求真我嘅主題，先至係我關心嘅嘢。而呢樣嘢其實我都一路都唔係好自覺嘅，直至到我俾呢一套戲嘅最初嘅題材觸動到我就諗起點解我接觸到聾人文化同聾人身份呢個議題嘅時候，我會咁被觸動，而當下一下子我就決定去拍呢個題材呢。我 reflect 翻我從前嘅戲，原來我都係講緊 the way we are ，the way we dance，the way we talk 即係都係講緊如何去喺一個艱難嘅社會點樣可以做到自己係啦，係咁。咁而點解我會揾到聾人文化呢個題材呢？其實就係長話短説啦。我5年前我對聾人身份呢樣嘢有一個認知我知道咗所謂聾人身份，原來聾唔淨只係對於好多聾人嚟講，可以不被視為一種disability， 佢可以係一個文化，甚至係一個身份嘅認同。我記得當時我問咗一位相熟嘅朋友，喺呢方面比較有心得嘅一位朋友，我話其實係咪最擁抱聾人文化、最擁抱聾人身份嘅聾人，其實佢哋係咪會唔
稀罕有朝一日變成健聽嘅呢？即使如果有一個法寶有一個儀器，佢用咗，佢會即刻變成健聽嘅，係咪呢啲最擁抱自己聾人身份嘅聾人都唔會選擇去用嘅呢？咁佢話冇錯，正正就係咁嚇。咁我當時我記得我係好震驚嘅，即係我對於呢一個認知嚇。咁我係其實我就係但我亦都好明白喎我唔知點解我一下子即係好似被按中穴位一樣。我覺得好犀利呢一種咁強烈嘅身份認同嘅呢種自信，咁當下我就決定去拍呢個題材。去決定你拍呢個題材唔代表我一定對於我剛才講嘅呢句説話100%嘅認同。我亦都知道有一啲聾人朋友未必係一個咁樣嘅心態咁但係我覺得所以即係呢個題材其實係好多層次去探討何謂真我。點解有啲明明你可以有機會去聽到嘢，應該係有一個方便，但係點解有一啲聾人會覺得呢樣嘢，我情願唔要呢個方便，令到嗰個先至係我真正嘅自己呢？
So, I never really felt like I deliberately choose a minority topic to talk about in my movie. I think most of my movie, actually until this movie that when I was making it, I realized that what I really want to talk about is how we discover our true self. And that I first come across is like the way we are. That's kind of the main theme of all my movies. So therefore you have the way we dance and now the way we talk. And basically is how we kind of survive in this really tough society at this moment. So I came across this topic around 5 years ago through different kind of different ways of talking to people and stuff. And so it's very interesting and it's very striking me whereby the deafness community, sometimes they don't think that deaf is a disability. They more think this is a culture that within the community, and is actually they embrace the self-identity of being parts of the deafness community. And so that's a question that has been asked before, and one of my very good friends in the deafness community is, if someone that is deaf and if there is a magic button or like technology or whatever that can make them hear again like a hearing person, and so actually like that will be people in the deafness community that will say, no, I don't want that. So they really like being proud of like being part of the deafness community, and that is really shocking to me. But at the same time, I kind of understand it straight away, and I don't know why, but it just struck me through into my heart. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% agreeing this statement, and I think there is a whole spectrum and there is a different layer that we can talk about in terms of a true self or self-identity within the deafness community. But it's just very interesting how like when there's convenience like technology is being made to help them, and some of them will still choose to stay within who they think that they really are in terms of like that's the true self of not being able to hear like a hearing person.
好，多謝。我見到有好多觀眾舉手啊。好，我見到但係我呢度咧，我想有一個少少嘅呼籲，或者係想請問咧，呢度有冇BSL 即係認識 BSL 嘅朋友？因為啱啱我哋即係呢一個distributor 好好啊，佢見到其實我哋在場可能咧有手語嘅朋友啦，咁而亦都好想講聲對唔住咧，同大家就係其實呢一套電影咧係非常之尊重或者係好關心唔同嘅人有唔同嘅身份、唔同嘅語言。有唔同嘅方法去表達，而我哋係好努力咧，係有手語翻譯嘅，即係喺倫敦嘅時候咧，我哋係有場次咧係可以有香港嘅手語翻譯啦，同埋喺英國嘅手語翻譯。而呢一場的而且確我哋係真係好艱難地都揾唔到，咁所以而家睇下有冇機會啊！如果真係有手語即係英語手語或者甚至廣東話手語嘅朋友，如果你識嘅話咧，你可以即係volunteer 幫忙，有冇啊？又或者咧？我學咗幾句嘅，我睇下可唔可以有機會睇下現場係咪真係有朋友先。咁sorry, we do not have British Sign Language. Anyone wants to
share conversation with Adam, or any questions you can ask him. Can you write it down?
So, unfortunately, we do try to accommodate people from all
It's okay.
different languages
I'm sorry.
and different way of
Okay.
expressing themselves. We do try our best to find if there's any Hong Kong Sign Language interpreters
Okay, thank you.
and British Sign Language interpreters, but unfortunately, we just been very difficult and not be able to find one here. If any person would like to step forward and volunteer and help, that would be very much appreciated. We do try our best, and we're just terribly sorry that if we can't accommodate your need. So if there's anything, we do have notebook and notebook pad and stuff. So if you do have questions and want to ask, we will invite you to write down if that helps. So we're terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
好，我哋頭先好簡單嚟到交流咗，所以 thank you 好，我哋thank you thank you thank you
Great film, thank you.
thank you。好，我哋好，我哋頭先有觀眾已經舉到係啦，好，你可以如果可以大聲少少咧，咁就大家都聽到啊。
Sky Garden 嚇。
跟住咧有一對 couple 咧，好似好慘咁樣喺度喊咁。
OK
我唔知呢個係 part of 嗰個 storyline 有啲嘢想表達啊，定係咁啱有啲老人家喺度咁樣。
OK 好。
So thank you very much, Adam, and I really enjoyed this movie. So that is a question that I would like to ask, but unfortunately someone has already asked it, so I'm going to ask the second question here. So there is a scene where Sophie is leaving the office and going out to a sky garden, and she walked past a pair of couples who's kind of crying in between. I just want to ask, is there any specific meanings that why there is a crying couple there, or is it just kind of a randomness of like feeling it with some people on the side?
好多謝觀眾咁敏鋭嘅眼睛係啦，久唔久都會遇到啲觀眾問一啲哇好 detail 嘅問題，點解嗰碗飯擺喺個箭嘅中間啊？咁樣咁啊，但係可以非常多謝好咁咧，同埋都多謝即係我嘅用心俾你睇到啦嚇，嗰個兩個係演員嚟嘅係啦，咁啊。其實除咗嗰兩個演員喺度喊之外咧，遠處都仲有一位朋友就喺度即係打坐嘅嚇，因為呢個咧其實就係一個即係佢就係一個商業大樓嘅一個 Sky Garden 嚇。咁我最初寫嘅時候，我覺得就係諗Sophie 佢要喺工作嘅時候佢要唞啖氣嚇，咁佢就去個 Sky Garden。我就諗下佢去到 Sky Garden 嘅時候，佢會見到啲咩人咧？我相信喺成個大廈入邊咧，要唞啖氣嘅唔淨止佢一個嘅，係啦。咁所以我就係諗緊，仲有啲喺個 Sky Garden 底下，係啦，喺大家都係上班族，係啦，會遇到啲咩人咧？咁我就覺得一定係會有啲即係工作好唔如意啊，需要人安慰啊，有得我嚟打坐。其實嗰個 shot 咧個設計咧原本仲長啲添嘅，再行多一段路咧，佢經歷佢仲會見到其他嘅一啲職場上嘅。幾個眾生相喺度咁樣嘅嚇，咁但係個 shot 太長，同埋因為好啲即係拍戲嘅一啲 detail 嘅嚇，令到我最後剪短咗佢嚇。
So thank you very much for this lovely audience who actually watched this movie into the very much details. So yes, I always like got one or two just like questions about why this particular bowl of rice needs to sit in a particular place in the middle of the mat. And so this is one of it, and I very much appreciate this question. So yes, both actors that acting for that pair of crying couples, they are deliberately put there. And I'm not sure if you noticed as well when Sophie walked a little bit down into the Sky Garden, that is someone that is doing yoga on the side as well. And so because that is a commercial building, like there's a lot, and so therefore I was thinking like, so what sorts of people that she will come across when she's trying to take a break from work, and so therefore that will be other like working people's like that would like to take a break, and that's why. And actually the original scene was even longer, where like she will literally see different type of peoples that we will come across normally in our life at work, and I'm trying to portray that out. But then as we all know, when you're making a movie, there is a lot of decision in terms of editing, and at the end of the day, we have kind of cut it to very short, and that's only the crying couples and the person who doing yogas left.
好，哇，
後邊戴帽嗰位先生係咪好似？
係啊，
係。
白色帽。
你係沙唔咁啦，我覺得係我哋嘅榮幸嚟嘅，即係喺呢個
Thank you
有份交流啊。咁亦都好享受可以喺戲院睇到一部戲，好開心。每一次睇完呢套戲咧，其實都要等一段間長嘅時間咧，先可以睇到你眼部嚟嘅。咁但係每一次睇咧都好開心，好滿足嘅。咁所以有少少問題就係咧，點解你每次都要搞咁耐嘅咧？
哦，係㗎。
咁可能係正嘢嚟嘅，因為要花啲時間先搞耐嘅。中間嘅做幾多重點咧，想了解就係戲嘅嘢係有咩打算下一套戲係有咩準備啊？有冇啲咩題材可以做嘅
OK。
唔該晒。
So thank you very much for coming all the way down to Southampton, and thank you very much for bringing us this good movie. I always very looking forward to whatever production that you're making next. There is one small question that I would like to ask is, every time we have to wait a few years for the movie to come, as in your latest movie. So I just want to have a small question about why like we have to wait for so long, and if there's anything on the pipeline that you're about to do next, and any kind of future projects, so that maybe we don't need to wait for another 3-4 years.
係啦，希望我下一套戲唔使等咁耐，我都唔想嚇。但係我事實上都，我真係覺得一啲創作係對於我嚟講，真係有需時去處理、去籌備、尤其是係構思嗰個階段。但我唔係好知道點解呢個問題其實都好多觀眾問我都，但係其實我真係好耐咩？咁你耐定係唔耐？咁其實係一個即係比較㗎嘛，係咪？你即係其他導演仲耐啦，咁樣我覺得係咪？王家衞咁樣 Juno 嗰啲係咪？咁我都唔係最耐啊，係咪？咁你睇下今年金像獎有得提名最佳導演或者最佳電影嗰5個，我數過我中間咯嚇，我係中間嗰個咯，即係睇翻佢哋上一套戲嚇幾時拍咁啊，但 anyway 啦，呢個都唔係藉口嚟嘅，我覺得咧，你叫我1年拍一度咧，我真係我想像唔到我點樣1年拍一部戲，即係我直頭覺得係 exhausting 嚇。咁但係如果係2年或者3年拍到一部咧，我已經覺得係非常之好，係一個非常之好嘅節奏。如果我可以 keep 到嚇，咁我希望做到啦，係咯。
So it's not really by my will that I take a bit time to do my creation, but as we all know, creation process takes time, and it's not something that it can magically happen overnight. And actually, I don't think I took a really long time in comparison, so you can tell like certain famous director like Wong Kar-wai or even Juno takes a bit longer time than me in terms of making a movie. And if you look at like all the nomination of Best Director in the Hong Kong Film Festival, I'm kind of ranking in the middle. I'm not the longest, I'm not the quickest for sure, but now I think if you're talking about making a movie a year, I think this is definitely impossible, and it's actually very exhausting. I think 2 to 3 years is kind of a good rhythm, but then again, I can't guarantee anything, and this is, after all, is a very organic creation process.
但我會盡力嘅，因為即係覺得時間唔等人，同埋即係喺呢個年代，即係要搶時間嚇，即係你唔知幾時世界末日，即係由前一套戲已經即係有呢個咁嘅心態係嘛？我哋成日話自己好似喺世界大戰第3次世界大戰嘅邊緣嚇，即係其實呢種心態都即係有催促自己，希望可以做快啲，做好啲。
But I'm not making excuses here, and I do endeavor my effort to work harder and because we know that time is not waiting for anyone at this point. And I always feel like we're in an age where like the World War III is about to start, and we're like almost to epilepsy, and for whatever reason. So I do work on it, but so it's kind of things that I would try my best, definite, but it's nothing really guaranteed.
Hi there.
Hi.
Congratulations on the film. I really enjoyed it. I'm very interested in your process. What would you say are the main inspirations for you in terms of cinema, like maybe filmmakers or kind of different kind of genres or maybe sort of countries? Just very curious on the sort of inspiration.
好，呢位朋友係首先想恭喜翻導演嘅，咁就多謝你帶呢套電影過嚟啦。咁我想問翻有關你去製作呢一個電影有啲乜嘢，其實有啲乜嘢去刺激到你去做呢一個去創作會唔會係有啲特別類型嘅題目啊，或者特別類型嘅導演啊、戲院啊，任何嘅嘢去令你會特別地想去 create？
Okay, I think what inspired me to make this movie is the topic. Yeah, it's my recognition of the value of deaf identity 5 years ago. Yeah, normally I don't take reference of certain style or certain countries' movie as some impulse for me to make a movie, because I think I have my own style, and I treasure about the topic that I want to make the most. And as I explained earlier, 5 years, I can talk a bit more. Why I get why I would approach these issues of deaf culture and deaf identity was because 5 years ago I read a script of a short film, where there's a scene describing a group of deaf people sailing underwater. I was quite inspired by this scene. Because normally we just think, okay, deaf people doing sign language in this mainstream hearing world is a disadvantage. But that scene made me think, actually, whether it's a disadvantage or advantage it's just a comparison. It's relative. Under the water, this group of deaf people who can sign are the best people to communicate. That concept fascinated me so much. And so I start to become interested in deaf culture, and so I talk a lot about this issue with the screenwriter, Anna, who wrote this short script, and finally she told me the concept of deaf identity. And then I get the hit, to decide to make this movie. And Anna is also become the one of the main scriptwriter of this movie too. Thanks.
好，咁其實我有冇話會特別去參考啲乜嘢嘅特別類型風格嘅？因為我都覺得自己有自己嘅風格去拍電影。咁我覺得拍呢個主要係個題材嘅，其實即係有時拍戲呢啲嘢就好突然嘅，冇話要突然間諗咗好耐先會做，即係你突然間有嗰個 moment 有 feel， 我哋係啦，咁就會嚟㗎啦。咁然後點解係對聾人文化或者聾人嘅題材特別身份去特別有呢一個興趣呢？其實係5年前啦，咁我收到一個劇本嘅，咁就係有關一堆聾人朋友啦，係潛緊水啦，喺水底下面就打手語嘅情景。咁我覺得呢一個突然間呢一個先對我嚟講好有感覺啊！咁然後就因為其實大家成日都會覺得手語可能係會冇咁方便啊，或者即係喺日常溝通上咁樣尤其是對健聽人啦。咁但係其實喺水底世界咧，其實聾人係其實佢嗰個手語反而係更加有呢一個優勢嘅，係因為佢
本身你喺水底世界都講唔到嘢嘅，咁所以其實佢哋喺嗰個方面嘅時候，反而係更加有優勢。而呢一個對比咧，係令到我覺得呢個題材好有趣，我好想繼續研究落去嘅。咁嗰陣我就同個編劇啦，第一編劇啦，即係思妍啦，其實佢就係當初將呢一個好短嘅劇本遞俾我嘅人，咁而佢亦都而家係變成呢一套電影裡面嘅其中一個編劇嘅，咁所以我哋嗰陣就一直喺度傾呢個聾人身份認同、聾人文化嘅問題，咁而最後當然就有呢一個看我今天怎麼說。
好 ，thank you。
繼續，好快 ，thank you。
綠色衫。
OK，作為導演，你點睇呢套戲嘅成績？各方面嘅成績，包括當然鍾書瑩攞咗呢個金馬影后啦，即係你自己都話提名最佳導演啦。係。滿唔滿意呢套仲有咧？其他方面嘅感想
OK。
So, as a director, what do you think about the results of this movie? And obviously, Zhong Shi, who portrays Sophie in the movie, has won the Best Actress in the Golden Horse Award. And you yourself has been nominated for Best Director. But what do you think about the results? How do you feel about the movie? Are you actually satisfied with the movie and the results?
我諗我最 care 就係聾人嘅社群點樣去睇呢一個戲咁而呢樣嘢我得到好多鼓勵可以話得到好多嘅認證係啦我記得呢套戲嘅首映嘅時候咧，就係喺 BFI British Film Institute 嘅London Film Festival 嗰度首映，就係去年嘅9月，吸引咗一班嘅聾人，即係 UK 本土嘅聾人嘅觀眾嚟睇。佢哋睇完有好多都係好雀躍，勇於企出嚟，即係用手語去表達佢哋嘅感想而佢哋覺得好多都表達，即係佢可以從呢套戲度 relate 到佢哋自己嘅生活。原來即係呢個聾人文化同埋聾人身份嘅 issue 係至少係跨咗香港同我唔知係咪跨世界各地啦，即係未去到全世界呢套戲，但係即係當時我會覺得好感動我覺得呢個我作為一個聽人，我俾聾人文化同埋聾人身份呢個議題去觸動到我，而我嘗試去代入聾人嘅角度去拍一套戲出嚟。我覺得我認為我最大嘅認可就係俾聾人認可啦咁我 so far 我聽到好多聾人，或者譬如有一位聾人朋友佢講俾我聽，佢話佢第一次睇得明一套戲，係佢第一次睇套戲有感受啦譬如係咁樣再講一個例子，我記得就係喺BFI 嘅其中一場放映嗰度，當個戲 run 到去鍾雪瑩喺個發佈會講嗰句好傷人嘅對白，即係話科技可以希望科技一日令到世界上再冇聾人呢句説話嘅時候，我喺現場我係聽到有一個聲音，有一把聲咁樣係嗌咗出嚟嘅咁我相信呢個就係一位聾人嘅觀眾，因為如果大家接觸過聾人朋友，你知道，因為佢哋有陣時聽唔到嘢嘅時候咧，佢哋會好唔係好自覺自己某啲情況發咗聲音。好自然地發咗聲音，咁我相信即係在座嗰位發聲嘅朋友係一位聾人嘅觀眾，咁證明即係呢一樣嘢對佢嚟講其實係一個好大嘅 impact 咯
So, I don't think all these awards matter at this point. I think the most important bit to me is if the film is recognized and acknowledged by the deafness community, and because this is what I care about when I make this movie. And I still remember when I do my world premiere in the 68th BFI London Film Festival last year in September. That is actually a group of local British deafness community people come along and they watch the movie, and they're all very excited about it, and they related to their personal life with the movie, and actually they're very touching. And I think this is think that I won't say it's across the group at this point because this film hasn't made across the group, but it's definitely at least across the Hong Kong and UK that whereby that is the same issue raised, of course, in the deafness community. And I'm very glad that they acknowledge and recognize, and it's very encouraging for them actually to openly speak up in that film festival, and they ask a lot of questions. One of the examples is they actually, one of the comment I got from the deafness community here in the UK is they said actually that's the first time they understand a movie and they're feeling that they're related to the movie, and that is very encouraging for me. And the other thing that I want to also give an example, if you remember the scene where Sophie was saying, at the very beginning, it's like, I hope if with the technology and the cochlear implants, there will be no more deafness people. And that is actually someone have made a song at that point within the screening. And I think that is probably from audience that with a hearing problem, because sometimes because of the deafness that they've suffered, they sometimes will make sound they're not aware of because they might not hearing it. And for me as a hearing person, to make a movie that be able to get the resonance from the deafness community, that is my biggest award.
好，係當支咪每次咧，即係最後嚟到我嘅時候咧，我就係再講對唔住嘅時候，因為我哋嘅時間就係夠嘅時候啦。咁但係好再次感激大家即係嘅耐心啦，同埋喺我哋咁短嘅時間裏面咧，都我哋交流咗好深入啦，有唔同嘅感動啦。我唔知道咧，其實大家即係睇咗幾多套黃修平導演嘅電影啊，即係呢個係佢嘅第6套嚟嘅，其實係咁即係之前仲有《狂舞派》啦，《狂舞派3》啦，或者係哪一天我們會飛啦。我尤其是即係陣間英文翻譯就會啦，即係如果你未睇過嘅咧，揾翻佢啲戲嚟睇啦，因為我希望即係一個即係香港嘅導演啦，其實除咗咧王家衞之外咧，我哋仲有好多選擇嘅，咁所以我希望即係喺歐洲啦，或者甚至乎即係香港嘅導演咧，可以即係俾到更加之多唔同嘅國籍嘅人咧可以認知，尤其是我哋今次其實好辛苦咁樣嚟到英國咧，都係希望呢一度本地嘅人都認知，咁所以好希望大家可以將呢個消息傳開去啦，同埋我最後有自己一個感想嘅，因為其實我都跟修平導演咧即係走咗一轉，都嘅即係影後談啦，我好多時候咧喺佢身邊咧，我一路聽住佢點樣拍電影啊，或者頭先尤其是佢回應一個所謂佢嘅成就是什麼咧，就係佢成就不是獎項，佢嘅成就就係佢所關心嘅人與事。咁所以呢個都係一路教緊我自己都有拍攝咧，就係佢之前一路有唔同嘅 The Way We XX 嘅，即係狂舞派係 The Way We Dance， 今次係 The Way We Talk。而對於我嚟講就係我自己作為即係個拍攝者 The Way We Film， 而我曾經聽過喺觀眾席裏面咧，對於佢嚟講係 The Way We Live。可能今日對於你哋嚟講 The Way We XX。希望你哋可以繼續帶去喺你自己生活裏面去思考、去討論、廣傳開去。Thank you， 多謝你哋。
俾多一句，因為嗱講到戲名咧 ，The Way We XX 咧，我一定要聲明呢個 The Way We 呢個戲名咧嘅始作俑者咧係許鞍華導演，佢嘅天水圍的日與夜嘅英文名就叫做 The Way We Are， 我係非常之中意呢一套戲。我喺許導演面前已經係衷心表示咗我係非常之欣賞、敬仰呢一套戲。咁我亦都話俾佢聽，因為我中意呢套戲，所以到我狂舞派呢套戲要改英文名嘅時候，我就諗到 The Way We Dance， 係啦。咁所以 credit to N 許。
So unfortunately, we are getting to the end of this conversation. So I don't know how many movies that you've seen already by Adam. So this is actually his 6th movie on show now. And I think there's a lot of good movies from Hong Kong, obviously, from Adam's as well. And we didn't only have like director Wong, and we have more people. I think it. That's director. Director Wong Kar-wai to be specific. So we have different types of director Wong here. I think this is something that if you want to continue to support the Hong Kong movie industry, to share it to your local friends and families and community, that would be very much appreciated. And something that is really touching me here is, like, we've been through a few different movie panels already till now, and one of the things is I really much appreciate, it's not about what award that Adams has achieved, is actually what he cares about, the community that he cares about, the movie that he cares about. It's not about what Golden Horse or Oscar Hong Kong Film Award.
I still care.
Okay, so maybe a bit scared, but not that much. In that sense, I feel like this is about. So in terms of the way that, as we hear the way we talk, or previously we have the way we dance, or the way we keep dancing. So that is a lot of the way we quotation doing something. So insert any kind of verb that you feel like this is appropriate. And we have one audience previously also said, like, the way we live. And I think this is something that we want everyone to take away today when you share it to your friends and family, or further discussion about this movie, is what is the core values that you have in your heart. And one last thing from Adam. So he would like to give credit to Anne Hui, who is also a great director. So the way we are, or the way we something, is not created by Adam. It's actually a credit to give it back to Anne Hui, where, like, she has a movie called The Way We Are, and it's a brilliant movie. And Adam has expressed so many times at different, like, places and venues and situation, that how much he appreciates this movie and how much he loves this movie. So we would like to give this back, the credit back to Anne Hui.
好 ，thank you。最後嘅呼籲就係看我今天怎麼說正式登陸英國。我哋全英國咧係有34個城市咧同步上映嘅。咁第一個星期啫，所以呢個電影咧究竟可以去到幾多個城市，可以上映到幾多個星期咧？你哋係可以參與嘅。你哋就係去傳俾你哋身邊嘅朋友啦，去傳俾唔同嘅好多嘅唔同嘅 group 啦、forum 啦，同埋亦都可以上我哋 Central City Media 嘅 Facebook page 同 Instagram 咧去更新更加之多嘅資料啦。咁希望呢一套係可以去到更加多唔同嘅地方。多謝大家 ，thank you。
So final note, so that is, this movie is going to be also in 34 cities in the UK for the first week. Obviously, it relies your help, so if you can share it to your friends and family, we might even be able to reach more places on the second week. If you want the latest information, please follow our Facebook and Instagram. We are Central City Media. And we have one very last request about a group photos, where Adam is going to show us how to do a sign language.